Today is a milestone for CCA and our relationship with the Duke Energy Mariculture Center because today will mark the 100,000th fish that we will have released in cooperation with Duke Energy. All the fish that we've released with the Mariculture Center have come from the brood stock. The brood stock are what we call the parents. Those fish are collected from the Gulf of Mexico. They're brought back to the Mariculture Center where then Eric and his team condition them. They're in indoor tanks and they can control the temperature, they can control the light, which mimics the natural cycle for a fish that produces them to spawn. So once they spawn, then those eggs are transported out into the grow out ponds, 1 million gallons of water, and they're on their own. And there's crabs in there, there's oysters, shrimp, so they can fend for themselves, but we do supplement their feed. And after the fish we did today were about 8 months old, and you saw there was a range from 4 inches to 18 to 20 inches, and it's always survival of the fittest, whether it's in temporary captivity or in the wild.
When I first started, it was about the marine fisheries and fish, if you will, but it's really evolved into habitat. And we're doing a lot with habitat right now. And part of this today and partnering with Duke Energy, it's just involved to a tremendous partnership.
Over the last year, Duke Energy has collaborated with CCA Florida on numerous fish releases up and down the west coast of Florida. They're there to help with red tide recovery. It is a multi-year, multi-species type of approach to enhance our fisheries up and down the coast from Key West into the Panhandle.
Biggest thing was for the response to red tide and the effects of red tide, specifically in Southwest Florida. It's an algae bloom that affects the oxygen levels in the water. Therefore, fish from groupers to redfish, she trout, pinfish, catfish, you name it, you deplete the oxygen in the water, then the fish perish. Unfortunately, red tide has crept up into where we are today in Citrus County, as well as into the Panhandle. So we're blessed to have the relationship with the Mariculture Center because they've got the facilities, they've got the expertise, they've got the staff, and they've got the fish.
Handing off these fish today, seeing these little kids, and that's what this is all about. My son's 25, he's a charter captain, and I had him starting fishing when he was 2 years old. And he's known CCA growing up. And he's a big supporter now, and that's what it's all about. It's a feel-good deal. We're all volunteers, and all these kids that came through here today and out in the water, the smiles on their faces were priceless.
It's really exciting when we have the community come out and participate with an event like this. You know, they see this little fish, they take it to the water, they're excited, they're smiling, they're laughing. Some of them are a little scared at the same time. And I think they'll look back on it and wonder, why did I do that? And then their parents will say, do you remember when? And that is so you were going to help grow the fish all up and down the coast. And one day you're going to be able to catch that fish. That's our hope.
It is very popular amongst the anglers in the state because they're seeing what's going on, they're seeing the good that it's doing, and they're excited about it because, as we saw today, the comments from the crowd is they can't wait till at least the smaller fish get big enough to where the anglers can catch them.
Like a good neighbor, they are there. And what greater Christmas gift can the community have than these fish that someday may end up blackened on one of your tables, cooked on a stove where you're using Duke Energy.
It's been a West Coast event releasing these fish, and now it's going to become an East Coast event. So it just keeps growing, and man, it's all good. It's all good, and it's awesome.